Hey, it's Tammy Lanham. I'm here to answer some questions about the February Spendfast challenge. I am so excited about this and a little apprehensive because this is the first time I've done it and invited the whole world to come join me. So I hope you're excited about it. I do have a couple of questions that people have sent in, so I'm going to try to answer your questions. We're trying to fast from all stores for the entire month. Somebody asked is that if this meant that they would not be able to have fresh produce or fresh vegetables for the entire month. That is not the case at all. In fact, we buy very little processed food in our house, and I usually shop the outside aisles of the grocery store, or I go to our local farmers markets and local farmers. So you do not have to forsake all the good things in life just because you're not going to the grocery store or you're not spending money for the month. One of my special little tricks, I'm letting you in on a really big secret here. I love frozen grapes. So we actually buy on January 31st. I will go and I will stock up on some of the fresh produce, the fresh greens, some of the things that I would typically buy throughout the month. We will stock up on them. Now my spinach, that type of thing, we will get those on the 31st, but as you know, they're not going to last long. So by about February 10th or so, we won't be having any more salads, but we will have plenty of produce after that. If you buy blueberries, rinse them off and stick them in the freezer. They are fantastic treats. Frozen blueberries are fantastic. So are frozen grapes. If you get your grapes on the 31st, rinse them off, put them in the refrigerator or put them in the freezer, they will last you through the end of the month. Sometimes the grapes will get a kind of a sticky residue on them if you leave them in there too long, but honestly, I take them back out of the freezer, I kind of rinse it off in a colander and then stick them back in there. And I don't know what causes the stickiness to kind of ooze out of them, but a rinse in the freezer does great. Your bananas, we are huge banana eaters in our family, and so one of the things we do is we take our bananas, we cut them up into fourths, we put them down inside a Ziploc bag and we freeze them. Now, of course, we eat our bananas the first 2 weeks of the Spendfast, first week and a half, but the rest of them we freeze. Then when we're ready for our bananas, you pull them out, you put them down in your blender. You add a little bit of milk, almond milk works as well too. You add a little bit of vanilla and then add something, they're already naturally sweet, so you don't, especially if they're overripe, but you don't have to add any sugar unless you just want to. We always add a few extra strawberries, and strawberries are the same way. I cut them up, put them in the freezer, and I keep them frozen until we want to use them. It comes out the consistency of ice cream, and it is all natural. There's no added sugar, there's no added color, anything. And it's a fantastic way to get your produce in at the end of the month when you're doing a Spendfast. Another thing with the vegetables, I home can, and so I have a lot of beans and things that I've already canned over the summer, but you can also get canned ones at the grocery store to kind of stock up ahead of time. Okay, another question I have is about stocking up now. If you're spending all your money stocking up now, how are you really saving through the month of February? You're not spending all your money stocking up. You're spending a little bit on what you think you're gonna need. Things like toilet paper. Guys, I'm not kidding. Make sure you buy toilet paper. You do not want to run out of toilet paper in the middle of a spending fast. So go buy your toilet paper. I have coupons for it. You can go, I shop at Kroger. Kroger also has the electronic coupons that you can go onto their website and get. And that's really helpful. So I've been stocking up on toilet paper a little bit each week. Something else you don't want to run out of is if you buy bottled water. So I've been buying maybe an extra gallon or two each week just during the month of January. So my monthly bill in January hasn't gone up, but maybe $8 or $10 a week. And so total, I've spent maybe $50 on stuff getting ready for the fast. Remember, the goal of this is to get through this without having to go to the store or spend any additional money. It's to use up what you already have or even be creative. Now I know I have tons of flour and cornmeal and sugar in my cabinet, oatmeal. I don't ever use it because it's easier to go buy the mix or go buy the pre-made instant stuff. And so I don't buy any of that in the month of February, and I challenge myself to use up some of that flour, use up some of the sweeteners I have, use up some of the stuff that I've got in the house. Now, one of the things that you're going to find out At least what I have found out. I don't know if you're going to find it out or not. But one of the things that I have found helpful is just staying out of the store frees up my life. Mentally, physically, and financially. When I go to the store, I always buy a little bit more, a little bit of extra that's not on my list. And so it saves up the money that you would normally spend on extra stuff. It saves my mental time because you think, oh, well, usually I just stop by the store. Even if you just stop by the store on your way home from work, that's a mental freedom. You don't have to worry about stopping by the store this month because you're not going to be buying anything. And so you get to go home, and mentally you don't have to make those stops. And y'all know what the grocery store looks like at 5 o'clock in the evening. It's crazy with everybody stopping by on the way home. So it frees you up mentally when you're taking care of that. I can't even remember what the third thing was. Mentally, financially, emotionally, I don't know. Anyway, you will stay out of the grocery store. It frees up your time. That's another thing, freeing up your time. When you free up your time, and even if you just think it takes a few minutes to stop by the store, you'll be surprised at those few short trips that you get to cut out during the month is going to open up a lot of extra time for you at home. I know if you've got little ones at home, you're going to treasure that, okay? All right. Some of the other questions are, do I have to not spend any money on anything for the entire month? This is your spending fast, so you have to make it what you want to make of it, okay? So if you decide that you don't want to do this, you don't have to do a complete spending fast like this. If your weakness may be for fast food, running through that checkout lane, the drive-through lane on the way coming home from work, maybe fast from that. If you can't do it for the whole month, try it for a week. And just prepare ahead of time just a little bit. Lay out something to freeze out of the freezer the night before. One of the things, and I wanted to mention this, one of the things I found I love is there are frozen loaves of bread at Kroger. They're $3.99 for 5 loaves of bread, and you lay them out in the morning before you go to work, and they rise all day, and by the time you come home, you stick it in the oven for 25 minutes while everything else is getting cooked and everybody's getting to the table, and you have a fresh loaf of bread every night. That way you don't have to worry about your regular loaf growing something green during the middle of your spending fast. So I buy a loaf of bread, typically a typical loaf of bread, already baked at the grocery store the very first week of February, but then I use those frozen loaves the rest of the month. Decide what you want to fast from. It could be a fast from lottery tickets. It could be a fast from running into the gas station to get that pop. It could be a fast from pop itself, not drinking any soda, or it depends on which area of the country you're from. It could be just fasting from coffee. I stepped on some toes there, didn't I? Pack your lunch instead of eating out. And you'll be surprised, the first week will be the hardest because you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have time and I don't have the energy. But remember, you're not running to the store, so you're not using up that energy. You're not using up that time. So you have a couple of extra minutes to plan ahead and look up some things. The key to this is to stay prepared. Okay, and it doesn't take a whole lot of mental energy. This is what I'm here for. Every day of the fast, I'm going to try to do a Facebook Live video and put it in our group that we're all a part of, and I'm gonna just add some tips. Hey, this is how I'm doing today. Okay, for me and my family, we're gonna fast from all stores, all grocery stores. We are gonna get gas in our vehicle. Okay, that's not part of the spending fast. My husband is a public speaker, and we travel, and so we have to have gas in the car. So that will be one thing that we're not fasting from. We pay all of our bills on the internet, over online, and so all of those, we're going to pay what we can before the month starts, but we're just going to pay those as regular. We're not going to fast from paying our regular bills, okay? We will take care of those as usual. Fast from buying junk food. Try to go to the store. If you can't stay out of the store for the month, fast for the month just from junk food. Anything that has a certain amount of sugar in it, or however you want to classify junk food, try fasting from junk food for the month. You could fast for a week or 2 weeks, and it could be from any of this or from all of this. The really cool thing is that you will discover you don't need as much as you thought you needed. And if you get a lot of people in your own area doing this fast with you, you can barter for the things that you need. It's really awesome. I love having neighbors and people around me that are doing this with us, because if I end up running out of sugar in the middle of it, and I know that somebody down the street has sugar and they've run out of, I don't know, grapes, and they want some of my frozen grapes, guess what? We can barter, we can trade. And it's really neat. You can get a lot of resourceful people when you start talking about bartering. The number one thing that I want to stress here, this fast is to stretch yourself, to go beyond what you think you can do, and don't think, oh, this is going to be too hard, I don't want to do this, I'm just going to tune in and see how it happens for everyone else. That's okay. You can do that. Tune in and see what everybody in the group, I'm going to ask other people to kind of put their input in as well. Tell how hard it is or tell how easy it's been. Tell some of the hacks that they've done, some of the things they've done to be prepared. I'm going to be sharing some of my own things too. So join the group and we'll see how it goes. Maybe next year you'll want to do it, or maybe even next month, or hey, halfway through February you may decide, I think I can do this, and jump on board. Come on and join us. But my number one challenge in this is to try to stretch yourself outside of the box. Do something a little bit hard, show a little bit of self-discipline. You will be blessed because of it. You will be amazed at some of the things you learn about yourself and learn about the people around you. All right, guys, I think that answers all of my questions. Yep, if you've got any more questions, be sure to post them down below, and I will try my best to answer as quickly as possible, but good luck. I am going to be posting a couple more things as I get ready before the 31st. I'm actually going to go live in the grocery store on the 31st and show you some of the things I'm getting for the last minute stuff. But remember, your goal is not to buy and spend a whole bunch of extra money this month so that you don't buy next month. It's to get what you need and to use up what's in your pantry, use up what's in your drawers and in your closets. Use up those things. And then also we're actually going to be going through closet by closet, drawer by drawer, and looking at pulling out things and decluttering. So this is not just about food, but we're going to be going through closets and decluttering and figuring out the stuff that you may call clutter. Somebody else during this fast may think, oh, I need that. I could use those shoes that those kids have outgrown. And we can even set up some bartering deal there too. So come join us. Thanks for being a part of the group.